Today we're going to be talking about the top 5 AI tools that you can use in your development agency and that I'm definitely using in my website development agency to speed up your daily processes. So we're going to be talking about the AI tools that you should could use in your day-to-day tasks to speed up your workflows and potentially get more clients and also make more revenue with your own business. So I have made 5 examples that I use on a daily basis. And that I would highly recommend you also to start using or at least experiment around with it. I also have other videos on my channel to explain to you exactly how to use these tools and how to get started with them. But in this video, we're just going to be talking about the tools that I think you should definitely use in your day-to-day basis. So with that being said, let's jump straight into the video and see what I'm talking about. So coming in at number 1 is Claude AI. This one was maybe a little bit predictive, but Claude AI is definitely one of the best AI tools you can use at this moment, especially for coding. Wow, especially for coding. So the way that I use it is I use Claude AI for numerous different reasons. So the very first thing that I do for Claude AI is I start planning with it. So let's say I have an intake meeting with my client. The very first meeting that I have, and they're going to tell me or they're going to tell you in this instance what they want for a website or for software or for any purpose. They're going to tell you exactly what they want, and based on the questions that you're asking them, you have a good overview and a good list of what they want exactly and how you can build it. Now, once you have these notes and you made an invoice and everything, and they're going to accept it and you can start working on the project, what you have now is you have a brief overview that you can feed to Claude AI, and you can tell it, hey, I'm going to build a website using WordPress, and I also want to use Elementor, and you're going to tell the tools that you're going to use for this website or that you would prefer to use. And then you're going to feed it this list that you wrote down, and you're going to tell it, can you create a plan for me how we can make this website from A to Z and how we can build this as fast as we can. And Claude is going to give you a really good overview of, for example, the step-by-step on how to do it and how you can streamline all of your processes while building the website. Now, you can also ask it to, for example, create a contract, so that you as a contractor or as an agency are going to work for it. So you can make a plan and give it for sign off to the client, and you can make a contract that legally binds the two of you to work together based on the information that you had at your first meeting. So that's really great, but that is not the only use case that you can use Claude AI for. Claude AI is really good when it comes down to coding. So what you can also do is you can create custom plugins for WordPress. And I've been testing this a lot, and I've been doing it a lot, and I really, really love it. I have 2 cool examples here. So the very first one is that I was building a WordPress Elementor website, and I needed some sort of a price table, but I don't know if you know, but the default price table in Elementor isn't that great. You know, it has a lot of limitations, and I just want to have something more custom. So instead of just 3 cards with your pricing, I wanted to have a really cool feature overview, what you have with the first tier, what you don't have with the second tier, and so on. But we didn't have that straight out of the box for Elementor. So I told Claude that I wanted to have an add-on in Elementor, and I told it specifically which tooling I needed. So I wanted to have features, I wanted to have multiple columns, I wanted to have rows, I should be able to style everything that's going on. And I told it exactly what I needed, and on the first try, it built out a plugin for me that I would simply just install into WordPress. And then I could go and open up the page in Elementor and go to the widget that we created using Claude AI, and we could import it, and it worked perfectly. It was so good on the first try. I even made a video on this, which I will probably show on the screen right now, but it was amazing. It was really amazing, and I didn't stop there. A second good example that I had is I was working on a WooCommerce website for a restaurant business. They wanted to have WooCommerce. And I noticed that a lot of additions to WooCommerce were paid. You had to pay for them. For example, if you want to have custom fields for a date range, for example, if you you want to have a delivery and you want to select your own date, most of the time you have to install a plugin for this. This comes not straight off the box with WooCommerce. And you have to pay for these add-ons. So what I did is I told Claude AI that I'm using WooCommerce and WordPress. I'm building this and this and this specific website. and I need a functionality that on checkout you can give a timestamp and a date on which you would like your delivery to be done. Now, it's not a guarantee that that delivery would be done in that moment, but you can tell it like, hey, these are the times that I'm available. You can bring it by at those times. I told Claude to build that, and I simply went to the Claude chat. I told it that it built the plugin for me. I installed it in WordPress, and it worked on the first try with a charm. It was simply amazing. So that is how I use Claude AI in my day-to-day processes, and that is how I would strongly advise you to use it as well. Now, it is so amazing to use this. Literally, my entire channel is based around Claude and Elementor. It's great. It's really great. But that is my my number one tool that I would definitely tell you to use. Coming in at number 2, we have, drum roll please, Claude Design. Claude Design, yes. Also, again, this is a feature by Claude. I simply cannot tell you enough how much I love Claude, but the Claude Design feature is really, really amazing. It does, yeah, what is it? Let's just start with that. What is it? It's paid for, so you have to pay for it. You have to have your normal subscription. The cheapest subscription for Claude is fine. But what it does is it allows you to create designs based on, for example, screenshots of a website that you have. So let's say you have a cool website that you like, and you want to build something similar with it. What you can do is you can go ahead and go to Claude Design, feed it your screenshot, give it a specific prompt. I also have a video on that. Give it a prompt and tell it that you want to build out a similar website. You can even clone the website if you would like to do that. But in this case, in the video that I created, we are just going to build something completely from scratch using Claude Design. So you're going to tell it the pages that you want. You're going to tell it where it needs to get its images from. In this case, you can use Unsplash, which is a free website for image creation or for using images. You tell it which colors that you want. Which features do you need? A hero section? Do you need a footer, a header, a call to action, whatever you want? Socials, you can tell it exactly what you need and it will build it out for you. Now, the cool thing is this is not specific to websites. You can also just create mobile apps or iPad apps, or, it's basically the same thing, but the layouts can differ per environment that you're building on. You can do so many things. It even creates software as a service applications for you instead of just your traditional website. So dashboards, for example, financial dashboards or whatever, CRM systems. You can build the designs with Claude Design simply by feeding in a prompt. Now, one thing that you do have to have is a design system. And in this design system, you have to create that one. You define what font you're going to use, which colors are you going to use, what is this typical spacing, what is the size of your fonts. Stuff like that is defined in your defined system, but also for that is a good solution because you don't have to do it from scratch. You can either generate it with Claude itself, or you can get it from the internet for free. There are numerous websites where you can get free design systems in a .md file, which you can then also give to Claude. For example, if you want to have a purple website or a red website or a white website, it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. If you just have your design system that looks like the style that you want to have, just feed it to Claude. Give it a screenshot of a website that you really like and it will create a design for you. Now, the reason why I'm doing this and why I use this on a daily basis is normally I work together with a designer that designs the websites for me and that I would simply have to build it out. But not all of my clients are eager to jump into work with a designer because it just simply takes a lot of time. And they tell me, hey, you can design a website as well. And what I then do is I go to Claude Design. I genuinely just first create the plan with the Claude chat, like what does the client need, and I then know the colors and everything based on my first initial conversation with the client. I feed that to Claude Design and it gives me a great design, and normally I make about 2 or 3 designs before heading back to the client and telling the designs and having a conversation with them. But the cool thing is, if it's finished, you can even build it out with WordPress and Elementor. Let Claude build this for you. So that's something that I'm going to talk about later in this video, but that is my number 2, Claude Design. Hands down, really good design tooling. So let's go on to the next one. Drum roll. Coming in at number 3, we have MCP connections. Maybe not a typical one, but yeah, I wouldn't really call this a tool as well, but MCP connections, they are needed in order to make sure that you are able to succeed using AI. So how does this work? I'll just keep this topic short. You have your AI tooling, ChatGPT, Codex, Claude, Gemini, whatever, and you have your target where you want to go. WordPress in this instance. How do those two connect to each other? Do you need to create an account? Do you need to give it the credentials of your account? No, definitely not. You're not going to give your credentials to someone. You're going to use an MCP connection. And this MCP connection makes sure that your website or the client that your client, in this case being the website or the application or the whatever, you're going to make sure that it's able to connect with your AI, in this instance Claude, that they are going to communicate using MCPs. And MCPs come in all formats. I've done videos on Novamira, which I also really like. I've also done videos on just a WordPress MCP and Elementor MCP. There are many different use cases for them, and one is better than the other for one instance. But MCPs, you don't want to miss out on them. You do really need them. If you don't use them, you cannot connect your own AI system towards the client that you're working on. MCPs, hands down, you need them. So let's go on to the next one. Okay, coming in at number 4, we have Novamira. Now, Novamira is it's also an MCP connection, but I'm going to talk a little bit more about Novamira, and I'll try to keep it short. What it is an MCP that you install for free on your WordPress website. And the cool thing about this, I also made a lot of videos about Novamira. It is a super smart connector, so to say. It knows exactly how the WordPress environment works, and also with stuff like Elementor and Gutenberg. It's really amazing. But the cool thing is, and I've done 2 or 3 videos on this topic already, if you have your website designed in Claude Design, for example, you have a website which is built in Claude Design. You can now export it as a HTML website. And what you can then do is you can feed this towards your Claude desktop, connect it with Novamira to your WordPress environment. And then you can tell it, I have this design, I have this HTML website, and I want you to build this using Elementor, using either JSON templates, so you can import them yourself, or you're going to tell it, create all the pages for me, make sure that you use SEO, I want to target these keywords, make sure that the images are copied and pasted and imported, and it's literally going to translate the entire design for you in WordPress, and you're done building. You don't have to do anything anymore. Maybe a little bit fine tuning if that's needed, but I guarantee you that's so super good. Novamira is by far the best MCP currently on the market. You also have a pro version, which I do encourage you to purchase. You have a lot more functionality and it becomes smarter, so to say. You can also get Novamira on my channel. Just go to incometagyt.com/Novamira, which is also a link where I get a small commission, so I can keep making these videos for you guys. But Novamira, hands down, I definitely use it almost daily. Even if I don't build a website by design, if I'm just doing some stuff and I need some assistance, I need something fixed in the design that I created and doesn't work, install Novamira, go to Claude and tell it, I need to fix the header, for example, make this responsive for me or whatever, and it does it for you. It's amazing. Definitely use it. Coming in at number 5, last but not least, is maybe a little bit strange one, but I say ChatGPT. ChatGPT is also one I still definitely use, and the reason I use this is mainly for image creation. If I need an image created, I go to ChatGPT and tell it that I need a creation, mainly for illustrations. For some reason, it's really good for this. If you have for some doodles or some background illustrations that you have, or you have a logo that needs some, you need to have a minimalistic design on that logo, just give it to ChatGPT, tell it, and it will create it for you, which is really great. Also, the copywriting. Copywriting is surprisingly good in ChatGPT nowadays. I also did it with Claude. I also did it with Gemini. They're all great, but ChatGPT, some reason, I think it's a little bit better, slightly better as of this moment. It could be that tomorrow it changes completely, or the day after tomorrow, or next month. But at this moment, ChatGPT is just really good for copywriting. Also, if you need a privacy policy or terms and conditions based on the information you give it, you can create it in ChatGPT. So what I usually do, normally I try doing this in Claude, but you know, sometimes there were quite some errors that I didn't like in my writing. So if I were building a website in Claude AI, I would tell it to give me a small output of the conversation we had. I would then import that into ChatGPT, and I would tell it to create copywriting for my homepage or whatever. And normally what I then do is I also go to another website, just AI to speech or AI to humanizer, where I would then change the tone of the AI to be more human. So you can either do that by website or tell ChatGPT to do this. But I'm using the free version of ChatGPT for this, and I have to say it's really powerful. It's really good still in this moment as well. Only you have to always be very careful with the information you give it. Never give it sensitive info. You don't know what happens with it. Maybe one day AI will take over and they have your information. You never know, but just don't do this. In any other case, really good AI tool for your websites. And that's all of them. All the AI tools that I would use that I am using in my agency, and that I would highly recommend you using in your agency as well. Now, I have made many videos on my channel on Claude and also some ChatGPT stuff. If you would like to follow along, just go ahead, go through my most recent videos, and you will see that I am constantly building websites with AI. Maybe I will make a shift towards creating applications as well, based on what you guys like. But yeah. That's it for this video. If you like this, yeah, let me know in the comments. Let me know if you want to see me do something else. There is some exciting stuff coming up on Elementor, also on Angie, their new AI system. So that's going to be really cool. Stay tuned for that. So, and anyway, guys, thank you for watching, and I will catch you next week. Bye-bye.